Would you keep doing something if you knew it was guaranteeing you wouldn't heal? Of course you wouldn't, but many of us unknowingly do things that slow down our recovery. So let's uncover together how you might be guaranteeing you won't heal and what you can do instead to finally start making progress. So the first thing is really making all your friends other people who are dealing with the same condition you have. And unfortunately, this leads us to see their lack of success as proof that the condition is really hard to heal from. So one thing you'll notice with health forums is they're full of people who haven't healed. Anyone who's healed isn't in those forums. So if you're trying to achieve a goal, you're better off not spending time with people who haven't worked out what to do either, not unless you have fun with them. This is where getting a coach or joining a group that's overseen by someone who's healed is a really good idea, and it's more hopeful, and you're going to get information and strategies that work, not just things people are trying. So one of the worst things you can do while you're trying to recover is keep a symptom journal and track everything you eat and every symptom on a daily basis. Keep checking your body to see how strong the symptom is all day. If you've got a pain, then prod it if you need to, just to remind yourself it's there. Analyze your symptoms, talk about your symptoms all the time with anyone who'll listen, and use really strong language to get across to them how much you're suffering. Spend all your time being frustrated and scared of your body and the symptoms. So by shifting our attention away from symptoms and towards other activities, particularly ones which relax us, give us joy, signals to our nervous system that these symptoms are not a threat. And this helps to rewire our brain's response, helping us to spend more time in a state of relaxation and promotes healing. So the next thing that people do is focus on fixing their symptoms only. They don't look at how they feel about anything. They don't see the connection between the anxiety and the symptoms, and ignore the connection between brain, nervous system, and what goes on in the rest of the body. So for many chronic illnesses, symptoms are a manifestation of chronic nervous system dysregulation, or at their very least, their severity is impacted by stress. So ignoring the importance of emotional resilience and regulation, we are missing out on a key piece of the healing puzzle, because healing needs us to have a robust immune system, a lower inflammation, and these things are impaired if we're stuck in a chronic fight or flight state. This is something I ignore for decades, and I'm only here able to share this information with you because I got focused on creating wellness rather than just healing symptoms along my journey. So we can hold out for our body to give us the signs that what we're doing is working before we can accept that it has innate healing abilities. So until then, we believe that our body is faulty, that we're broken, and that everyone else can heal except for us, until we see evidence to the contrary. So leaning into the feelings of hopelessness, not believing, is really holding us back, because belief in what we're doing and our ability to heal really is everything. And if we don't, it is a waste of time. We need to be able to trust, and then to get into a place of surrender, because when we're in those places, knowing that everything's going to be okay, we spend more time in rest and repair. And it helps us to really navigate those times when we're experiencing flares. So another thing people trip up on is working with loads of different practitioners and continuing to search for the right person to give them recovery. So don't see the people you work with as guides, see them as someone who can fix you without you needing to do anything, and give all your power away to other people if you don't want to heal. Because our healthcare system, it's not focused on empowering people to take health into their own hands. The truth is no one really cares about your health and well-being more than you do. So recovery from chronic illness really is multidimensional, and it requires us to bring balance back to our own lives. So people can help you, but nobody can do everything for you, because it requires looking at all the aspects of your life, your relationship with yourself and others, your habits, and you being super consistent without being obsessive.
So for my clients, I'm a guide, I'm a support, but ultimately, as I tell them, the responsibility for taking action and making progress rests with them. And that's really where true empowerment is found. And we learn skills that we can take into the rest of our lives. Allow yourself to think only positive thoughts. Ignore your emotions as much as you can. Be afraid of emotions. Be afraid to feel emotions. Unfortunately, healing is about doing the opposite of what contributed to the health condition. So we change our diet because maybe we ate poorly or not enough, for example. The same applies to emotions. If we've ignored our emotions and that's led to chronic stress, which is a major contributor to chronic illness, addressing our emotions is really a crucial first step in any healing journey for any long-term condition. So chronic illness often emerges, major life changes or hidden stresses, and it's usually accompanied by a pattern of unexpressed emotions when we live misaligned with personal needs and values, or we take on a lot people pleasing and perfectionism. And often we don't even know we've repressed our emotions because it's something we learned during childhood. We aren't really aware of how stressed we are until we start to feel calmer. If you've been running in fight or flight for a long time, it just becomes the new normal. So this is a bit embarrassing for me, but I used to get really jealous when I saw anybody healthy. And if you're one of those people who is looking at everyone else's healing journey and using it to beat yourself up, it's time for a reality check, because as it didn't serve me, it's not serving you. It's so important to realize that everyone is different. Part of healing is coming to a place of self-compassion and kindness. And if others' successes make you feel bad about yourself, then don't engage with them. You don't have to. You're just giving yourself more stress that you don't need. So I had to log off social media to give myself well-needed space, because what you've got, where you are, is really not the same as anyone else, and what keeps you stuck there won't be the same either. So if you're not drawing inspiration from people and it's just making you feel bad, just log off. This is putting all your time and energy into searching for solutions to a health issue. This is living by a massive to-do list of tasks every day and treating healing like a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, and living by that mantra that you can only enjoy life when you're fully healed, spending all your time in forums and groups focused on your condition. And this is about halting your life and abandoning enjoyable activities. And what this does is it drains the joy and frames healing as really something that we're trying to escape that's truly dreadful. And what this mindset does is it really activates the fight or flight response as it perceives symptoms as a threat, and that's counterproductive to recovery. Plus, it puts us under relentless pressure to discover something new, often overlooking what we might already have in our toolkit for recovery, that seems simple but is actually effective if we did it consistently enough. So what worked for me when I was trying to recover from chronic illness is quitting Google, taking regular healing holidays, days each week that I wasn't thinking about healing, I was enjoying other things, and bringing more self-care that wasn't focused on healing in. Stuff that was just enjoyable and soothing for me. That really helped to give me the space and to give me a break. And I started to feel a lot more relaxed as a result. So you know what I'm talking about. Talking to your friends and family about your health all the time. Feeling angry and hurt when they don't really understand or they change the topic. We try to tell them everything that's happening. We get upset when they try to make suggestions about what we need to do. I've been there. And we see that as a sign that nobody understands and that we're completely on our own. And I've talked a lot about this on my channel. I actually have a video, which I'll share the link in the description, which I talk in depth about this, but I also give you some EFT to start to break down some of the frustration. What worked for me was choosing to accept that this was how it was. It wasn't going to change, and I had to be okay with that. And anyone I found particularly unhelpful or upsetting to be around, I reduced the time I spent with them. So family and friends got put in the fun box. we all need a fun box, don't we? And we only engage with them at that level. I stopped talking about my symptoms or health issues with them. This really helped me make the most of my time with them without the high expectations I had of their behaviour, because they just couldn't reach them, unfortunately. One of the things that I did, which really harmed my recovery, was identifying too much with the conditions that I dealt with. So I was Rachel with chronic fatigue and my fibromyalgia and my hypothyroid. And unfortunately, when we identify with the conditions that we're experiencing, it makes it more difficult for us to see how we can be anything other than the person with the condition. So instead of calling it my this, externalize the condition and don't claim it as part of you, unless you really want it to stick around, and I'm pretty sure you don't. Just call it the condition. Some people give them names, or better still, just talk about in terms of the present symptom on a particular day. What the condition is called is just a label, but that label comes with so much baggage. So unless you're talking to your doctor in your day-to-day, it doesn't serve any purpose other than to make you scared that you won't heal because of everything that comes along with the label. So people always ask me, how do you live with Ehlers-Danlos? And I live with it by not talking about it, not reading about it. I get help if I need it. I know when I do, but I try not to give that more space in my life than necessary. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't define me. And you, my beautiful friend, are so much more than these labels. One of the reasons we get downhearted in recovery is we don't know what to expect, what shows us that we're making some progress. So if you don't know what the signs are of recovery before the actual health issue is gone, then you need to watch this video next as I break them all down for you.